Light. We see it just about every day. From the light we see from the sun to the light we see from light bulbs, light is a part of all of our lives. However, this begs the question, where does this light actually come from? Well, before we can answer that question, we must talk about photons, the minimum unit measurement, otherwise known as the quantum of light. Photons are a vital part of our lives. Being the particles that make up the light and heat around us, they have of course had a deep influence on human evolution. One way that these photons are produced is from an overcharged electron being transferred to a lower, more stable energy level, causing the excess energy from the electron to be released as a photon, a massless particle of light. There is no well of photons to be chosen from, so once the electron moves to a lower level, it is in this vacuum that the photon is instantly created and simply pops into existence without any kind of middle stage. This concept follows the conservation of energy, since the charge from the electron is released once the electron moves to a lower energy level and releases the excess energy out in the form of emitting a photon, which means that there was no energy being created or destroyed. A photon can also be produced by means of fusion, where two protons merge together and a photon is released in the process. This happens because it takes a large amount of energy to bring the two protons together, because as we know, protons repel each other. There is a very large amount of force needed to bring the two protons together, and the force that does this is actually gravity. Since the sun is so massive, containing 99.8% of the matter in the solar system, the force of gravity has enough pressure to make the protons fuse, causing energy and light, in the form of photons, to be released in the process. This method of photon production is the way that photons are produced in the sun, which produces the light that we see outside every day. Photons can be produced, but they can also be destroyed, done through a process called photon absorption. Instead of an electron releasing a photon by moving down in energy level, a photon is destroyed when it is absorbed by an electron, causing that electron to move up in energy level. Similar to how the photon simply pops into existence when it is produced, it immediately ceases to be when it is destroyed. Photons are all around us and play a part in our everyday lives. Otherwise, the world would surely be a pretty dark place.